It's been a short while since the Mercedes-Benz C-Class got a facelift in India, and with that facelift, it got some design updates and some useful features too. And this was across the C-Class range. But the star of the range, especially in the diesel lineup, has been the C300D, which we are driving with us here today. And this is a diesel rocket, nothing short of it. It is something you want. If you want a diesel sedan and you want a fast one at that, then this is the one you should go for. So how is it to drive, and what is good and what's not good about it? It's time to find out. But before we proceed, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to stay updated to Express Drive's videos. And if you like this video, share it as well. Now the C300D is available in the AMG Line trim, and what that means is it comes with the AMG Body Kit. So what you get when you compare it to the standard C220D is, of course, you get a more aggressive approach for the bumpers. You also have a side skirt, and then there's this star-studded grille, which looks a lot more classier than the standard grille. And the headlamps too now feature in this particular C300D variant. They come with the higher spec multi-beam LED, which of course is a higher spec technology and gives you better illumination during dark conditions. On the side, there are again great looking 18-inch alloy wheels which have the AMG badging and look cool and give the overall side stance a hunkered down and a dynamic effect. So in a nutshell, well, the C300D is a much more aggressive looking version than the standard C-Class, and the standard C-Class itself is a good looking car, but it's a car that is more inclined towards elegance. And if you are looking for some more dynamism and flair, well, this baby has got it all. Step inside to the cabin of the C300D, and well, it's a C-Class at the end of the day, and one of the first things you'll notice is that it's a very low slung car, and as a result of that, ingress and egress can be slightly an issue for some people. But that said, once you're inside the cabin, I can't see any reason to complain. It is typical Mercedes-Benz quality all around. Of course, the C300D, like the exterior in the interior too, has some changes over the regular C-Class. Now, one of the first changes you'll notice inside the cabin is that the center console wood finish is entirely new. Now, this is an open pore wood finish instead of the glossy one that you see on the other variants. Now, this has a lot of benefits. The first one being that light does not bounce off the shiny surface and the reflection does not bother anyone inside the cabin. Of course, it does not attract thumbprints and dust, so again, it doesn't look dirty. And the best part is this looks a lot more classier than the glossy finish. In addition, there is a flat bottom style AMG steering wheel, which also has all the usual controls. You also have the BlackBerry style touchpad buttons here. So yes, again, adds a little bit more flair and sportiness to the cabin. And beyond that, you also have this two-part huge panoramic sunroof, which adds to the airiness of the cabin. Now, mind it, the C-Class is not a small car. It offers a spacious cabin, but it's a dark cabin here inside the C300D, and having a large panoramic sunroof helps making a lot more airier. And once you move out of these things, well, it's the usual C-Class affair, and all good with that because the C-Class has good interiors. Material quality is top notch, nothing to complain right there. The button quality and the layout is again nice. The 10.25-inch infotainment screen that replaced the older, smaller unit again does a good job. And you also have this good-looking instrument cluster in a very handsome hooded binnacle, which gives you access to a lot of information. But unlike many other cars, it's not a confusing layout and easy to read. As far as space is concerned, the C300D offers the same as it is across the C-Class range. So Again, it is a spacious car to be in. Now with the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference and with a height of 5 feet 8 inches, I have a good amount of legroom to spare. Headroom is decent, not particularly expansive, but yeah, it's decent. So someone taller than me shouldn't find much of a problem here. The seat particularly is quite nice. I like the cushioning. The cushioning is very good and the backrest angle too is good, and that means you will find yourself to be comfortable here if you are going to be in the seat for a long time. The only thing, however, that could have been better is the under thigh support, which is a bit short. Now, the taller you are, so if you are taller than me, you will find this problem to be a bit more of an issue than I am finding it to be right now. But keeping this aside, it's a good place to be in, and again, in terms of practical storage space as well, there is a lot around. And the seat itself, like I said, is good and is good for 2 adults, however not for 3, because the high transmission tunnel means that the third passenger will not find himself or herself to be comfortable for more than a few minutes. Alright, now on to the most interesting part about the C300D, and that's the driving performance. Of course, that's the reason why you will go ahead and buy this car. Now this car is powered by a 2-liter diesel engine. Now essentially this is the same diesel engine that powers the C220D. But for this particular car, this variant, the engineers have turned the wick, and that means now you get 54 more horses, and the total is a very delectable 245 horsepower output. Now this is pretty much a V6 territory or borderlining V6 territory if power figures are to be considered. Along with that, you also get a bag full of torque, and that is precisely what you would expect from a diesel car. Now this is a turbocharged diesel engine, and well, off the line there is a hint of a turbo lag, but once you get to about say 1700 rpm, well, that's when the turbo lag diminishes, and what you get from there on is a strong surge of acceleration that is going to put you back in the seat. And well, of course, it goes on to run about 4000 rpm from where things start to taper off, but between that rev range, what you get is a very good driving experience. So that was about the powerful engine that comes with the C300D, and adding more to the driving experience are the driving modes, which include a variety of them. These include the Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and they do what their name suggests. Basically, they alter the character of the throttle response, the traction control, and the steering, and that just adds to your overall driving experience, because as per the situation or as per your preference, you can have a comfortable, relaxed drive or a fast-paced, engaging drive. Now, aiding the impressive performance of this engine is the 9-speed gearbox, and this gearbox does a very good job of going through the gears at a quick pace. So what that does is that when you pair a quick gearbox with a powerful engine, you get an amazing driving experience, and that's precisely what this car offers. Now, just because it's a lot about power does not mean it is not refined. It still offers you the same refined experience that you would expect from Mercedes-Benz, and that's why if you're cruising along at normal highway speeds, or if you're just going around at normal city speeds, the refinement levels are quite nice. There is hardly any sound that filters inside the cabin, and well, it is overall a very smooth experience that you get. Once you turn up the wick, of course, then the diesel clatter does get inside the cabin, and you can hear the noise as you increase the rev. The only thing is that while it is sort of a loud sound, it isn't particularly sporty, and it gets a bit gruffy as you start approaching 4000 rpm. So yes, in terms of absolute performance, the acceleration is there, the top speed is there, the gearbox works well. but the oral effect is something that's missing. But that's it. Again, like I said, overall performance is good, and the steering wheel again offers good feedback, and it's again a point and shoot affair. The brakes are good initial bite, and they bring the car to a halt in a very quick and reassuring manner. The ride quality again is again very well balanced between comfort and performance. So while going over bad roads or speed breakers, potholes or expansion joints, most of these things are soaked in well by the suspension, and the occupants are spared the jerks coming out from such surface undulations. But if you talk about handling, at the same time, while it is a comfortable car, that doesn't mean it's not comfortable going around corners. The grip from the tires and again the balance of the chassis is quite nice, and that means you can throw around this car, especially this one with its low profile tires and the grippy rubber. You can throw it around corners and still come out smiling. And when I say the low profile tires, it doesn't mean that those are affecting the ride quality much. Yes, they do make a wee bit of difference, but not to the point where you would find it to be uncomfortable. So like I said, a great balance between comfort and dynamism. Alright, so now it's time to decide who really should buy the C300D. Well, if you're someone who's going to be primarily chauffeur driven or are very rarely going to take out your car only at times with your family, well then probably I think the C220D is the best bet for you. But if you want a diesel car that gives you everything that any other variant of the C class would, but you also want a great driving experience from it, well then it is the C300D you should go for. And the best part is that it is strongly fast. It is a good looking car. It comes with some new and better improved features, and of course it doesn't really cost a bomb when you compare it to the C220D. For a price of around 4 lakh, in addition to the C220D's price, you can get the C300D, and for that kind of money, the performance it offers is quite a bargain.